Welcome back to the Killing Really Our podcast with your favorite podcast bestie, Eileen. Just like your favorite food vendor, we aspire to bring you nothing but the best. I hope you enjoy today's episode. So I remember growing up, my dad had a very reputable image in church, in our area, and he was always giving out donations, helping the less privileged, and he had this church role, like some kind of deacon. But his behavior at home made me wonder, something is not adding up. There were days I even felt like, hey, is this man my biological father? Hello, mommy. Because his behavior at church and in society, like abonting outside, is not the same as how he relates with us, especially when he's angry. My mother will collect, my brother will collect, I'll collect. So I remember there was one time we went to visit our auntie. There's a family member of ours that came there. He doesn't believe in God and all those things. My dad doesn't like that guy. So my dad was coming to pick us up and he saw us talking to that guy.
It was at this moment that he knew he fucked up.
When we got home, he made us enter the bathroom and he was pouring hot water on our legs. I would always wonder, what did my mother see in this man?
Wait.
What did he see in this man? What, how, why did they end up together? Like, for us to go through this thing. Now, when I was reading Purple Hibiscus by Chimamanda, I was almost in tears at a certain point because I do not understand. I really didn't understand why somebody... I was going through the emotions. I was really, really going through the emotion because, like, when people tell you that you don't get to choose your parents, you don't get to choose some things, but your partner is the only thing you get to choose, so you have to choose wisely. Be careful of the kind of person that you are going to marry because that also affects the progress and stance of your life. It affects your children. When you read Purple Hibiscus, you understand. Because, hey, I was just... That's why some people will say like, it's better to be single, it's better to be alone than to be in the wrong relationship or the wrong marriage. Because tell me why somebody's father can be so wicked. And if you grew up in an African home and you read that book, you can kind of relate with this. Like you would literally feel the emotions as everything is going on. You will literally feel it in your system. You feel like you feel like it is you. It was crazy when I was reading. I was like, It kind of reminded me of my own childhood, Like, I remember when I was a kid, I had so much unhealthy resentment towards my dad because, like, hey, I thought he was so wicked, that was such a bad man. Until I grew up, and even though some of the things that my daddy did to me, it still doesn't make sense to me. There is no amount of explanation. Probably if God give me revelation, I can consider. But apart from that, there is nothing anybody can tell me that in the name of discipline that my daddy did to me that would make sense. Honestly, it doesn't make sense to me. But I grew up trying to look at the positive side of things. I'm like, I realized that I was always feeding on the negative side of my childhood feed. So like, I was very resentful, very bitter. And then as I grew up, I realized that, you know what? That's not worth my energy. Being resentful and bitter is draining. I'm not perfect though. No. Like there are days, some of the memories will flash through my mind. I'll be like, but what can I do? When everybody is saying that, the kind of marriage, the kind of person that you marry determines the trajectory of your life, whether you be happy in life, whether you progress in life. It is so true. And I know somebody will say, this is fiction. It's not just fiction because some people have literally been through this. Mine is kind of semi-similar, but what was in the book was quite extreme. I really, really think you should read that book. And there's something in there that might surprise you. How the story ends might. So, like, look, I don't want to give you all the nuggets, but if you read that book, I promise you, you will not. Let me not make any promises, but I really think the ending might surprise you. So, yeah, please, as you start a fresh week, remember to drink water and mind your business. And when you think about entering relationship, think about what your children are going to go through and you yourself, what you're also going to go through. This has been the Killerly App Pod. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section, your experiences as well. And I'll catch you guys again in the next episode. Bye. And hey, how do I look in blonde? How do I look in blonde? So yeah, before I leave, my auntie gave me this wig as a gift, and I have never worn a blonde wig before. I've always seen other girls in blonde wigs. I'm like, they look so nice, but I don't know. I feel like if I had eyelashes and a little makeup, it would look better. But child, I just didn't. Look, every time I use eyelashes, my eyes get so watery. If anything I do on my face, if I do makeup on my face, my face will itch. If I have eyelashes, my eyes will be watery. Can I just have a normal? Ready? Can I just have a normal life? Anyway, so yes, let me know how I look. I know I look good though, but yeah. 2026, we are going blondie. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye.